Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Battle Vortex Battle Pirates Roundtable. Hope everybody's having a good raid. Tonight we've actually got about 4 or 5 slots available. Oh God! I'm doing it now.
What is that? Mute your tubes, shook your phones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Not like showing yourself up, is there? Oh well. Like I said, we've got Toxic on. Okay. We've got Extreme.
What's up, guys?
We've got The Price is Wrong.
Hey, what's up?
Fine, okay. And we've also got Paul.
How are you doing?
And we've also got Joel.
Hello. I'm back.
How long are you back for?
I don't know.
So we have got 4 slots available if anybody wants to join us. I've posted the link out a couple of times. So what do you want to talk about, guys? What do you want to talk about?
How's everybody finding the raid so far?
I'm struggling myself. I'm having to use my subs because anything that is visible on the map gets sniped.
Ouch.
So yeah, I'm having to limit my subs, and the only thing you can use subs in are C set. So not even getting 100K per C set means I'm a long ways away from 1 million points.
That's an ouch.
Yeah.
Have you got what have you got? Have you got stuff that can do bees without sending a horrible price, without doing too much damage?
No, I can't. I can't put anything on the map that's visible without it getting sniped. So I do have tools where I could probably do more, but they're visible, so they get sniped.
Can't you run to a different sector and jump somewhere else? Come in and be nice, and hopefully you don't get hit there. Perhaps as a suggestion.
Well, wait. When my fleets are done repairing, I'll find out. I'll let you know.
Alrighty. Because I'm up in 100 at the moment. That's all. Or I'm in the same, not in the same sector as you, but in the same area.
Same world. Alpha.
Yeah. Yep. So we might be able to help you along with a bit of points depending what time you're on.
Good evening, Damnation. Welcome.
What's up?
Hey, Mike's working fine as well for a change. No, Mr.
Come on, stranger.
So yeah, okay. Extreme, how's your raid?
I emphasize the fact that I managed to roll a grease monkey on this one, but surprisingly easy for me. Less than 100 coins, and I managed to get a little over 80 mil and get everything I wanted.
Sweet.
That works.
So, and I emphasize the fact again, I was lucky enough to roll a grease monkey. You take the grease monkey away, and I'm grinding B's and C's, and not even close to where I'm at now. So, surprisingly well for me.
Toxic?
I'm on the same par there with X. I'm finding it really easy this time around. I'm around about the same points as what X was, and I've claimed everything I could claim. There's nothing else for me to go for now. I've got points left over, which is a first. So yeah, my rate's going good.
Okay, Paul?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I've had a good run myself. Also used a grease monkey, which is very fortunate.
Hacker. I'm sorry. Did I say that wrong? I was just thinking it right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm up over 40 mil, so I'm sitting pretty at the moment.
Sweet.
Less than 100 coin. I think I spent about 75 so far.
Okay.
But I have got a couple of grease monkeys spare if anybody wants any.
Someone else lost my lines. He was disgustingly lucky, and I say that first go around he got, I think it was 3 or 4 grease monkeys, and then into the raid he grabbed 2 more.
Wow.
And I was like, what the hell? What kind of, like, what script or hack are you running?
Who was that?
It was the other X, but...
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but he's lucky enough to sit there and get 4, but to sit there and grab 2 more after the raid started, that's just unheard of.
Yeah, but you didn't see him spending a lot of uranium last week. I think he spent near enough.
Yeah, he spent a little over $1 million uranium doing it.
Uranium doing it. Yeah, rolling for him, trying to roll for him.
Bill.
We've also got Pax joined us. Joel, well, you've just started again, haven't you? Have you tried the raid yet?
I'm only at about 25,000, so I'm struggling.
Okay. Domination?
It's going mediocre for me. I didn't get my Punisher tank done in time for the raid, so I've just been kind of doing B sets with heavy cruisers and core sabers.
Somebody just took me up. That was awesome. 1.5 million.
Sweet.
It's amazing. It's just 2 minutes worth of work, man, has produced better results than I have over hours.
Good. Bite Me, welcome. And you, how's your raid going?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing C sets because of the damage to point ratio on Bs and As is too much, and I do have 1 Punisher built. So 1 Punisher and Fusion Cruisers is what I'm using.
No rhinos?
No rhinos. Third time on them offering them, and I haven't been able to win them yet. So.
Ouch! Damn, that sucks. Really sucks. And of course, me. 101s I found because I had the Grease Monkeys. Again, I've got no Punishers. I'll say it again, no Punishers. So I had to build the Draconian carrier and use that as a tank. And I was actually shocked. It was a brilliant tank. I managed to do the 101s for 4 to 5 coins, so I was happy with that. But today, I went out and did some A sets for a change because I wanted the badge and I liked how the badge looked. So I thought, oh, I've got a few coins left, I'll go out and try an A set. And I couldn't believe it. It was cheaper than doing the 101s. 3 coins it cost me to do a full A set. Oh, wow. So really shocked there.
Yeah, I haven't tried any A's myself yet, but after what you just said, I might go give it a shot. See how it goes.
It might be because of our droving, I don't know. So
yeah, I don't have a Punisher either, so I'm using an HC as a tank. So I'll see how that goes.
Hey, Wetstar, I got a question for you.
Yeah, go on.
How are you liking the performance of the new ships? The Centurions. How are you liking those?
The honest answer?
Yes.
I can't answer you.
And wait, how come?
Because I'm only hitting cargoes with them at the moment to level them up.
That's okay, fine. Initial impressions?
Initial impressions? Good.
Okay.
The blue, yeah, whatever it's called, that seems to be coming out about 3 or 4 times in a 71 cargo, so that's not too bad. And I've got them up to 25%. I've got 1 star on each one up to press, so that's not too bad. Oh, talking about doing cargoes and VXP, it's been said on the forum, on KIXEYE forums, Doom Rooster says there's going to be another VXP weekend this month, but he doesn't know when, and that's got to be confirmed. Yeah, I'm liking them so far, but the truth will be told when I hit the new mining bases and a Draconian uranium base with them. See what they're like then. That'll be the big test, Extreme.
Alright.
But until then, they seem to be performing not too bad in 71s. I'm not taking no damage because I can do them on auto. How I've built them, so... But I won't try him in the raid. I know that for a fact. Definitely won't try him in the raid.
Okay. I figured we may have taken him into a BRC set since it's mostly Siege, but just to try and see how they really stack against what they're supposed to be hitting.
Yeah, but they've got fleets in them sort of things, haven't they? So.
Oh, they do, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
See, this is why I ask you first, because I make mistakes like that.
Yeah, no, they've also got there's always in there with missiles on, and like you say, my fleet that I've built is all enough ballistic defense for the new stuff. So I don't think they'll do well in it, unless I can put my tank in with them. I could try that, I suppose.
How did PAX go?
Yeah, how did you go, Pax? Have you tried the raid?
Yeah, I've done it, mate. I've got 81 million. I'm helping friends now, sorting out, prepping their out 101s and letting them gun boats in the corner to get their 1.5 million points.
Yeah, Mike's a bit bad there, Pax. This one's sorting out. What were you using then, Pax? Oh. Fine.
Sorry, mate. I'll refresh. I'll come back.
Alright, no problem. So, we had a couple of updates this week. Well, we had the armour reductions and a couple of fleet reductions. What does everybody think about them?
I'm extremely happy to see them start doing armors. Armors, in my opinion, were what have needed it the most in this game since forever. But, you know, as a firm tinfoil hat wearer, part of me starts to wonder, okay, are the D6 armors around the corner now since the D5s are getting a reduction?
Yeah.
Sorry, any better?
That's better.
Right.
What were you using?
The ship we can't name because you haven't got as a flagship.
Yeah, just name it. I don't care. I'm past the point of caring. I'm sure it's going to be in the next raid.
Yeah, well, I use Punisher and Rhinos and Harlock Aegis.
I think majority have gone through them. Does anybody think, though, that this raid can be sort of tough for the middle and lower end of players?
Definitely.
Yes and no. I'd say tough in the sense that maybe the targets aren't doable. It's just the point payout for the amount of damage taken needs to be reworked.
Yeah, I'm not happy with that. It was 10 million for the gun and 15 million. It was like KIXEYE was throwing us a couple of bones, and then they've taken them back by doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
they really should have made a researchable deflection hull before they started to base the game around deflection. They really should have done that.
Well, what we've mentioned a few times that maybe, like the Crusaders, I don't know if they're R5 or R10, maybe should go up to R15 or something like that then, and add a couple of stats for siege deflection.
Well, yeah, but it's going to be, by the time they get around to doing that, it's almost going to kind of be too late to have any redeeming quality, you know what I mean?
True enough. But again, you don't want a full fleet, though, do you? You just want one tank, basically. So, yeah, it's going to be difficult to pick a ship, I suppose. A researchable ship.
Yeah. Well, I think we've had that in last Saturday's RoundTable. You can, if you have a jug, you can put M armor on if you've got it, and that'll give you 180 or 160 deflection.
Do you think it's enough?
Better than nothing.
I think there should have been like a whole brand new researchable hull that would have had like around 250 deflection, in my personal opinion.
And, I understand deflection is starting to play a huge role in the game now, but at the same time, it's still fairly young, and we've been building ships for a while now that can tank fairly easily against a lot of stuff without deflection. Even, you know, the frostbite and the scatter guns aside and all that, because it's kind of what the deflection was built to defend against, but with the Wendigos and everything else that's been out for a while, we've been able to get by without deflection rather well. I personally just find the damage output for the amount of points being given is just absolutely ludicrous, and that's my biggest gripe with the raid. Aside from that, I've seen other players being able to do it regardless of which level they're at. Some of them have asked for help, yes, and some of them just decided to grind it on their own.
But don't you think the massive damage output has come because of deflection, though?
Yes.
I won't deny that. No, I will not deny that at all. I totally agree. Again, it's kind of the fate of the Arbalest. They're basing the game around one aspect. They shouldn't. At the same time, damage output for the raids has been ridiculous for a while, regardless of deflection.
That's true. That's true. But talking about that though, does anybody think this raid is harder or same as the last raid? Do you think they've increased the damage?
Yes, I think it's harder. I mean, I've got the Punisher build. If it wasn't for the Punisher, I don't think I would have done it so cheaply.
No, I don't mean that. I mean the damage ratio that this raid is giving out to, like they said, the last raid.
Yeah, I think it's increased. I think it's a bit high. I mean.
Yeah, no, I thought it was the same. I didn't notice any increase.
Yeah,
it's just
I don't think so. Didn't notice anything. Really.
I'm just thinking with them rhinos, they don't have pack a mighty punch now in the A's and B's. The 101, I suppose, is about the same as it was last time. No difference, I guess.
The only difference is the really super thermal on the 101s. That's changed.
Yeah, you could prep out the corners with Cobra, Scattergun, Tiger Sharks, but you can't do that now, obviously.
No,
but yeah.
I had to be spoon-fed points last month, and I got to do it this month too. So it's exactly the same to me.
I don't know what happened last month, so
same basically what we got now, Joel. Go on, Alex.
So the damage for the most part has actually just kind of stayed constant on the set targets. The 101s, I didn't really hit them myself last time, so I can't say. But this time around, when someone else was in there with me, when I was prepping for someone, I definitely noticed an increase of damage taken, as opposed to when I was just by myself. I don't know if that's just me wearing a tinfoil hat or intentional. Aside from that, I haven't really noticed much of a damage difference. The A's still hurt like hell. The B's seemed a little easier, but the point payout still didn't make it worth it, in my opinion.
Okay.
And the C's, I mean, I didn't bother with the C's.
No, C's is just too much of a grind.
I mean, it really boils down.
Go on. Carry on, X.
I'll say it's even bigger grind now because of the level penalty.
Yeah, that's true. If you drop down, you lose so many points, don't you? So that's another thing you've got to contemplate as well. Toxic, you were going to say something?
Yeah, for me, it really boils down not what hull you have, but how you built it. Because last month I was really struggling to even finish one turret on the well, not one turret, but one or two squares of the 101s, and since the refit, it's no problem. It just depends what you put on and what you're going to hit it with, and it's got to match. And if it doesn't match, it's no good. Because I've seen other players with HCs, and they have the same problem I had last month. That one or two volleys of the turrets and they're gone. So it does depend on how you built your ship, not what ship you have or what hull you have. That's talking as in a tank type scenario.
Okay. Alright, so let's get back onto the reductions that we got given then. Dalmatian, you've already mentioned what you thought of them. Bite Me, what's your thoughts on them? Okay.
I'm here. Just I got two buttons I gotta unmute, so one's a physical switch. Anyways, I think it was okay. Generally, I think it was a little light on the reductions this month because of I have no idea, but I mean, what was it, Crusader, and then a few armors and like a weapon or whatever, and it seemed light to me. Normally on the reductions they did like a whole slew of them last time.
Yeah, I think there's going to be more to come next month. I think there'll be more to come. Joel, your thoughts?
I have not actually seen the reductions, and I'm pretty sure I don't have most of the stuff that they've done anyways.
You might have. Good evening, Judge. Welcome. Okay. Pax, what do you think to the reductions?
I think it's a good step, and just hope to continue with all the other armors as well. Rather than just the uranium one. I think it is at the moment. They've done the D5R and all that, isn't it?
Okay.
So I hope they continue.
Carry on down the line then. Judge, what do you think of the reductions we got on the update this week? Okay, I think he's got something wrong with his mic. Paul, what do you think then? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, hang on. I was just making a cover. Yeah, I think any reduction in the game's good, but I think the mid to lower levels, or the people that have been playing a long time, are still suffering with the raids. I mean, I've got some old stuff that I've tried running around, and really, if your combat speed's not up 25 plus now, 28 minimum really, they're going to struggle. They're giving out too much damage before they even get to the targets from what I've seen and what I've tried. So, but build times, etc., bring them on down. Get the game going, get the game flowing again. But I think the lower levels, and as I say, mid levels that haven't played or haven't picked up on all the tech, they're going to struggle. And they have been for quite a while now.
Okay. Price, your thoughts?
Obviously, yeah. Any reductions are great for the game. It would be nice to see something across the board, but it doesn't seem to me that that's really going to happen. Because a lot of the end gamers really still aren't seeing any kind of relief. I mean, look at me, I'm struggling, and I don't know, but maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just because I make poor choices. Which, sadly, any mistakes you make in this game because of the cost, you're kind of stuck with. So if you don't make the right choices right off the get-go, you're going to struggle.
Okay. Toxic?
I think what they're doing, it's good. It's good for the game. It made the game, or it's going to make the game more enjoyable to play. They just need to keep going on that path now. And get into repair times, and just keep on that path. Don't veer off it. And hopefully it's going to be the same game it used to be a few years ago. So yeah, all thumbs up from me for that one.
Okay. Extreme?
I don't remember exactly what the reductions were, but any reduction, honestly, to any component is nice. Anything that reduces the amount of build time, refit, repair, less time spent in the shipyard and the dock, the better, in my opinion. Because honestly, I play the game to send my ships out and either sink or be sunk, and then repair them and send them right back out. I don't want to spend, waiting 3-4 hours for a single boat to repair. That's not what I play the game to do. So any reduction is a welcomed reduction, in my opinion.
Okay. I'll continue. I thought it was a good start. Hoping there's more to come, especially with the armors, because that's the biggest trouble when you're refitting a ship. If you put it on different or changing your armors, 2+ days is for one single armor is a bit of a joke. So to me, they are going in the right direction. So I hope they're keeping it up. So let's move on to. Go on, sorry. Yeah, go on.
One of the armors they did throw in there, if I remember correctly, was the D5R, and it was also, I think, on tier 2 in the raid at a very low cost. I would definitely grab that if you can, because if I remember correctly, obviously Draconian bases, but the new mining bases were supposed to be mostly, I believe, explosive, or no, not explosive, ballistic and radioactive. I would definitely highly recommend grabbing that.
Okay. So let's move on. So what does everybody's opinions about the new prizes? So...
But you've already built it, tell us.
What's your thoughts? Do you want them? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you think they're going to be useless? That sort of thing. So let's start with Bite Me.
Yeah, I think generally they're okay. They will fill a role for people that don't have certain types of tech, but and I know they're not really geared for it, but I noticed on the preview that ship versus ship they were kind of weak as far as the new weapon goes. You know, I understand they're designed for a specific thing, so that's good. But generally, I just think that that they needed a little bit of an oomph in the PvP area because people will tend to snipe stuff.
Okay. Dalmatian?
I think I'm kind of looking forward to getting the weapon. The hull itself, I'm not overly impressed with. I mean, I have the Punisher hull, so I'm not really that worried about the Centurion hull.
Okay. So why aren't you worried about the Centurion then?
I just think overall the Punisher has better stats, and the splash reduction, I'm not sure if it outweighs the deflection that's on the Punisher.
Have you got a fleet of Punishers built, or would you be dedicating a Punisher build with the new weapons?
I would be dedicating a Punisher build with the new weapons.
Okay, so that's near enough going to be 21, 22 days, and the Centurions...
depending on how you armor it.
And the Centurion is going to be around about 15 days. I just can't understand people's thoughts there.
The build I was looking at for the Punisher and for the Centurion both are running about the same, honestly. Because the Centurion has more armor slots.
True. Oh, well, your choice. It's your choice, so good for you. Joel?
Well, I'll get it considering I don't have any of these current tech. I barely even know what deflection is at this point. So I need to pick it up if I can.
Deflection, basically, it's like plate armor, but it's for everything. So
yeah,
it's really, really nice. I mean, these days you kind of have to have it because the damage is like so high on a lot of these things now that you know, if you don't have it, I mean, that's like for the Punisher, for example, that's 500 extra damage you're going to take on every shot. So
yeah, there's two types of deflection as well. You've got a siege, which is
buildings
from turrets and buildings and that sort of thing, and then you've got assault, which is from fleets and ships, basically. So it's all good. Pax, your thoughts on the new prizes?
I think they'll work well for what they're designed for, but I wouldn't be wanting to build them to hit normal player PvP. It's mainly against them new resource things they're going to fetch out and draconian uranium bases.
Also, the new Drac bases when they redesign them as well.
Yeah, I forgot about them as well. Yeah, when they redesign them. Yeah.
Okay. Judge, you got your mic working yet, Judge?
Yep.
And what's your thoughts on the prizes?
I'll take the weapon. I got the Punisher, so I'll build a weapon with the Punisher.
Your reasons for it?
You got the Bowfinger, Siege, and Assault. I know the Centurion is built for the new Draconian.
Okay. Moving on, Paul?
Well, I've put a couple of the new cannons actually onto a Punisher in the downtime when I was at work and etc. just to see how they run.
Mhm.
I'm running the new hull up at the moment in a ranking fleet, only with 4 weapons, no engine, just a special side loader, the nuke accelerator to give it the range. I'll probably build 2 initially. I won't get too overexcited with it as I'm running a Punisher fleet as well. But I'm looking at how they work together with the mixed weapons on. That's what I'm looking at the moment. So if you are going into a target that's got ships and base targets to hit, see how they work out. That's what I'm using for the raid targets at the moment. When you get the boost off the weapon, it certainly knocks down the buildings, etc. I've noticed that. Bearing in mind, the ships I put the new cannons on are fully ranked now, so they're working well. I think a mix might be an option.
Okay.
As a, if you're only looking at building one fleet for an all-round fleet, I try to avoid just building a dedicated fleet for certain things unless it's essential. And at the moment, I don't think it's 100% essential, so we'll have to see when the new Drac bases, etc. come out, see how they run.
I quite agree. Until they come out, we don't know if KIXEYE have changed their minds or not.
We're all surmising at the moment, the same as with the raids, etc. It's nice to see the new stuff out, nice to see the preview server. Famous saying, subject to change, isn't it?
Well, that's it.
So, I mean, I tend to build 1 or 2 ships. I'm glad I only built 2 Gores, to be honest with you. Do you know where I'm coming from? I've built 4 Punishers. At the moment, they're all the rage. So, mine are a bit different build. So,
okay.
To most people, but the raid is doable. But I think they can do a lot more for bottom end players. But the only problem with that is if they make the targets easier in the 40s, people will go out and order them. Big player guys, if you're getting loads of points for the 40s, which is unfortunate for the lower end players, people will just go out and order the 40s, the 60s, cheap repair. KIXEYE's caught in the devil in deep blue sea a little bit at the moment, I think, with the power they're kicking out on the A sets to the B sets to the C sets. Just as an opinion, if you like.
Okay. Price, your thoughts?
On the you talking about the raid here?
On the prizes.
Well, I think the light prize list is not a bad thing. But me personally, I think that they should have like a store, like kind of like the paint store. You know what I mean? Except for like have all the old tech in it. I think is what they should be doing, and then that way, it would definitely help accommodate like a light prize list like they currently have. But I mean, at least they're kind of showing the direction they're going a little bit. I mean, because they were pushing Morts and ballistics on every tier, and I definitely also really like the fact that they have all those limited components back. They didn't have that last month, so I'm glad they're back this month. And of course the tokens. It'd have been nice to have a week's worth of tokens, but take what we can get.
True. Your thoughts on the new ship and weapon?
Well, the Centurion, I'm not going to lie. I know it's got kind of like that very specific special that's on it, right? About the splash reduction, and we've had mini hulls that a lot of people thought were garbage when they first came out, and then they turn around and the people who passed wish they hadn't. And I can't help but wonder if the Centurion is going to be one of those.
Okay. X?
I think you skipped Toxic.
No, you're actually before Toxic. I skipped you last time. I'm back.
Okay. Alright. No, I kind of agree with Price on that one. I think it's a hull that some people are looking at and underestimating just because when they compare it to like the Punisher, with absolutely nothing in the hull, comparing one naked hull to another, the Punisher does blow the Centurion out of the water completely. There is no contest there. Once you start putting components on it, weapons, armors, and specials, the Centurion actually catches up to the Punisher and in some aspects surpasses it. The Punisher will have better deflection regardless, unless you just load it up, the Centurion up with just D5M, and I think X was also released eventually. But even then, Centurion will beat it in deflection. But as far as combat speed is, sheer amount of armor points, the firepower, depending on how you build it, the Centurion will actually be a pretty decent hull, in my opinion, especially with what it's built for, which is strictly sieging new targets.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go wrong either way, but I think people are kind of underestimating it like they did the Jug X, which everyone said it was going to be crap, it would be useless, no one's going to want to build it, and lo and behold, for quite a long time, it turned out to be one of the best hulls you could get because of a certain aspect of it, which was, I believe, the armor augmentation.
Yep. Yep.
So, and I've learned, no matter how useless a hull looks, there's going to be something you can use it for. Just grab it, and worst case scenario, you got something to throw on the shelf that looks pretty.
Very, very true. Okay then, Toxic, your thoughts?
I don't have the Punisher, so this hull is really, for me, is a must.
Yeah, somebody else has got no Punishers. I'm not alone.
Yeah, I just kept quiet, see. It's gonna do well in those mines and the uranium bases and stuff. So I've already built 2, and those 2 I've built with the tokens that were available in the raid, because the blank hull is only 2 days and a couple of hours. So I built 2 hulls with one of the new plasma accelerators on it, or whatever they call these new weapons, and I've got the 3rd one cooking now. So it's a cheap hull to build, and if it's going to be a good one, it'll be a cheap good one, and even if they have the hull raid next month and sell the Punisher there, I'll certainly will buy it, but I don't know whether I will actually build it, only due to the cheap cost of building the Centurions.
Okay.
And of course, if you have that Centurion, you need the new weapon to go with it. And I'm not sure if I would mix the weapons up with them, because what you want is that little blue stuff to come out as often and as quickly as possible.
Exactly.
So the less weapons you've got on it, the less chance you have of that happening. So yeah, that's just me though.
Right now I'm working on a 5-ship build with 8 weapons apiece.
5?
Yeah.
Wow.
Go big or go home.
Okay. And me. Well, as everybody found out, I've already built 4 of them. I've got 8 of the new weapons on each ship as well. I've put 2 Gale 2s on each one as well. Is it going to be better than a Punisher? For hitting bases, no, because it's not designed to hit bases. For hitting the new Draconian mines, probably will be better than the Punisher. Will it be better than the Punisher for hitting a Draconian uranium base? Probably the same, if you build it right. Time will tell. I'll let you all know when I finally hit them. But what gets me about this raid as well is not one of you has mentioned it, nor anybody's noticed it. For a change, we haven't got a ship or a weapon really that's not OP. How does everybody feel about that as well? For a change.
Well, everything's overpowered right now, right? I mean, it's like the turrets, their armor, they're overpowered. Ships got to be overpowered. I mean, right now everything is just. I mean, we're at, I mean, when we had that power creep taking place, I mean, it happened.
Yeah, I said that wrong. I mean, on the scale like for hitting, going out and smashing bases straight away.
Yeah, well, bases are going to be making a comeback soon. That was kind of the whole point with these new mines. and the new hull and all that stuff. So, I mean, we've been getting a lot of turrets lately too, right? I mean, we got like the Basilisk, the Frostbite, we've gotten so many new turrets here lately. I definitely think base defense is making a comeback. They're talking about Outpost 8, and we're going to get new levels of defense platforms with that.
Hmm.
You know, who knows what a level 8 defense platform might have, and maybe it has 3 armor slots. You know, I mean, yeah. So I think it's coming back. I definitely think that you know, base defense. I think they were going on the offensive part, creeping that up a little too much. It's nice to see that they're trying to balance it back out again, but obviously it's a work in progress. So.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with KIXEYE. It's either, sorry, extreme, but one extreme or the other extreme.
Oh, sure, rub it into extreme space.
No, if my name is used in a description, it can't be good. Something's going to get me off.
Well, that's what the KIXEYE does, doesn't it? They go to one end of a slide and then back to the other end of the slide. There's no in-between sort of thing.
I mean, not to come to KIXEYE's defense or anything, but I mean, it's like I think, you know, with the hopefully they can like keep people on Battle Pirates for longer than 6 months. I mean, I know that's ultimately the goal, right? But the vision is what's been inconsistent. When they bring in new people, the vision, whatever vision they had, gets lost, and they're starting over from scratch. And they've done that several times this past year, and you know, that's what needs to stop.
Yeah. So, go on next.
I wouldn't say this new ship or weapon is overpowered. When I think overpowered, I think of some of the previous hulls, like the heavy cruiser or like the Arbalest or something. They bring it out and just absolutely demolishes everything in its path. This has kind of been more purpose-built towards a specific thing, and even the previous hull, or the Punisher, wasn't really overpowered. It was definitely beatable. If built right, it was a pain in the ass to beat and very difficult, but it was doable. So, I mean, still ways to go, but they're definitely heading in the right direction and not bringing out an end-all, be-all hull every friggin' month.
Okay. Toxic, your thoughts?
Yeah, I have to agree with what X just said. It's good to see that they don't bring out hulls that are meant to hit player A or you know, thing A, and then all they are good for is doing something totally different. Purpose-built hulls, I think, is a good thing in the game, in my opinion. And if I can go out and hit a base and, you know, and actually do well in it, or get hit and not be flattened straight away, that's a good thing too. So if they can keep the balance in that, then I think they're well on the right track.
Yeah. The player base has proven time and time again they can take a hull that was designed for one thing and creatively build it to do something else. So, you know, tell us the hull is built for one thing, and we'll go ahead and prove you wrong and do it with something else.
Yeah.
We don't need KIXEYE's help to do that.
No, that's true. Okay, Paul, your thoughts? Is it on the ship at OP or not?
Yeah, I keep on going back to it. Personally, I haven't got too much of a gripe with the game at the moment, with where it's all heading, reduced builds and all that kind of thing. New hull, we've got to wait and see. I still think they don't do a lot for the mid and low levels. They will struggle to keep the player base going if they don't do anything to take away the damage from lower levels or people who want to play the game. Let's get a bit of continuity back into the game where we can go out and enjoy ourselves for a few hours and not spend hours repairing. That's the only thought I've got at the moment.
You okay?
He's struggling.
Yeah.
You okay there? You sound like you're...
Hey, we don't want to. Don't say anything else.
We really don't know what.
Hey, let's leave the...
Yes, let's just leave
dirty
the
old man. I wasn't talking about that.
Let's just leave the piece, alright?
Judge, your thoughts? No, packs.
Judge.
Packs. We'll go to packs.
I don't think it's overpowered. Definitely not. I think they've been a bit more balanced. I think with the game, and to be honest, I'm going to disagree with Paul a little bit because I think the mid to low level players have got a great opportunity of picking up some decent prizes for very few points in this raid. Yeah, you look at that armor. You look at even the Jug X. You know what I mean? Sorry, the DNX. They're all cheap as chips.
When was the last time you used a DNX then?
Oh.
Well, to be honest, you're saying mid to low levels. Well, mid to low levels, they are good. There'll be a good hull for doing an all-rounder. There is the DNX, man. You can put ballistic on it. You can put morts on it, which is what both the main prizes are aimed at the moment.
Especially if you can win the Judgment Mortar.
Mm.
Have someone help you.
But you've also got 4 specials on the DNX, so I mean the mid and low level player isn't. I don't think, in my opinion, it's meant to have the Centurion and all them. Because they're mid and low end level, so then they're not. They wouldn't have the stuff to put on in the first place. So you can't give everything out straight away.
No, they've got to work at the game, but it's got to be. I mean,
like Pac said, you got Siege Battery 1, 2, and 3. That was very helpful.
Yeah, that's.
You've got the armors.
Yeah.
I guess my question would be, are any of us real high levels in a good position to judge how a DNX is in today's game? Because when we're thinking about DNX, we're thinking about how we played with it like 2.5, 3 years ago, not how it would match up in today's game.
Depends how it's built, I suppose, and what you're going to use it for. For a low to mid-level player, it might do well in missions for them. Probably be better than what they've already got now, so it could be all right.
We've also got the what's that? The ballistic hull. What is that called? The one
Vindicator. There's a Vindicator.
Crusader. Yeah, the Crusader. You got the Crusader. You got the Vindicator in there. Vindicator is an awesome hull.
Yeah.
For a lower and mid level.
See, Crusader will help the mid-level players out. How many points is that in there for in this raid?
I can look.
It's like 5 million.
7. I thought it was 7.
Is it 7 million for Crusader?
No, 7 or it's 7 or 5.
5 million. 5 million.
It is 5. All right.
Well, that's not too bad. Right, what's the Vindicator?
Vindicator, 150,000.
There you go.
There you go. Bingo.
That's cheap.
How they get.
And it's a good little ship, is that Vindicator as well?
If you get the Vindicator, get the Hail 1 maybe, a couple of Hail 1s. They're great.
But you retrofit it gets an accuracy buff, so.
Yeah.
And that's to everything.
Yep.
Sweet. So, Bite Me, your thoughts about not having an OP hull for a change?
Uh-oh.
I kind of actually like the fact that it's not geared to be the one-all to end-all, because every time they do come out with an overpowered hull, it does tend to dominate for quite a period of time, and granted, people do figure out their own little tweaks to make them even more ridiculous, launcher subs. Anyways, I just think that it's good to make a balanced, more of a balanced ship and weapon combination. And as far as the specificness of going into being designed for one specific purpose, that's kind of still up in the air about.
Okay. Dalmatian?
Well, I'm kind of hesitant to say it, but I really like the fact that they've kind of gotten away from putting overpowered game-changing prizes in, because I don't feel like I have to do every single raid anymore, or I have to get every single prize. I can more pick and choose what I want and what I don't want, and not feel like I'm going to get left out.
Okay, fine. Toxic, did you have a say?
Sorry, I've missed it. We just had a visitor come in. Sorry, one tick.
No problem.
Make me laugh.
I'll carry on then. To me personally, I think it's a good idea that we haven't got an OP ship. The community has been crying out for a long time now, saying every month it's always been an overpowered ship or a weapon that we're getting, and then and there's a drawback. Now KIXEYE have brought this hull out. Now the community is screaming, "Oh, it's a crap hull and this that and other." Well, personally, build it, give it a try, see what it's like. It's designed to do a certain thing. I'm glad that KIXEYE have changed it up a bit. So I hope there's more to come of that as well. I really do.
If you don't like it, don't get it.
Exactly.
I think you'll regret it.
Yep.
Don't bother with it then. Just
Crazy Junior in the chat did point out that it was pretty expensive. It is a premium price.
Yeah,
I mean, when you think about it being $15 million for the hull and $10 million for the weapon, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah,
that's the drawback.
Yeah.
That's where KIXEYE has gone south, in my opinion. Yeah. There is the points it needs.
If it was reduced by about $2 million, then it'll be reasonable.
Well, and not only is it expensive, but it's expensive for something that you're only going to use for this specific instance, as opposed to something you would use for everything.
Yeah, but you're going to be using it a lot because you're going to be wanting all these parts for your base. So, I don't know. I'll have to wait and find out what they're like, I suppose.
To be honest about the parts thing, last week when we had them, they put them on the map to test them out, the new part things. I can't remember what they're called.
Mining bases.
That's it, yeah. I was using a Neptune as a flagship, and it was doing just as good as what I would expect the new hull to do, because of the siege deflection on them.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, were you using the Neptune as a tank, and what were your other ships?
I was actually ranking up fusion cruisers, running them behind it.
Okay. Did you have the problem where the coaxials were shooting down your launchers?
The splash was getting them, so I just sent the Neptune way further in front, so it was better that way on then.
Okay.
Yeah, I think KIXEYE came back and said that was a glitch or an error.
Yeah, it was. They did say that.
I wouldn't be too worried about that.
No. Hopefully it's fixed time we get them anyway. Cross fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few people who'll be wanting to use their Punisher launchers in them.
Yeah, and that kind of reiterates my previous point of shipbuilding creativity. If people put launchers on subs, launchers on Punishers.
Yeah.
I think the original one was launchers on MCXs.
Yeah, it was.
I put launchers on Mercuries.
That too.
That's why it was so good.
So there you go, KIXEYE. You don't need to go as an overpowered hull. We'll do that for you.
Exactly.
Well, and that's part kind of why I don't get their recommended list either, because somebody always ends up breaking that, and something totally opposite of what they said was going to be recommended actually ends up being better. So I don't get the whole recommended list.
Nah, I sit there and go through and think, what can I personally use? Because I know they have a recommended list, and it can be useful for those who don't know what they want. But my advice to that is just go through what you have and tailor your own recommended list based on what you have and can get.
True. So. Anybody else got anything to say? Open mic time,
Yeah,
so go on, Toxic.
If you're at a total loss like me, because the hulls are so quick to build, a lot of people will have them built and ready for action very, very shortly. Hang out for a week, see what they do and what builds they come up with, and then fully build yours. Just start building the hulls now, 3 or 4 hulls or whatever you need. Slow build them, and by the time they're all slow built, someone would have come out with an awesome build, and you can then, if you have the prizes or you have the stuff that they used, you can then copy that build and have a good fleet as well.
That's a great point. Is that Toxic? Well said. Yep. Exactly. Slow build them if you've got no one else to build. If you've got someone else to build, then build that and just wait. People always post videos. They always comment on pages, so just wait for it. Quite agree.
With the days to build.
Say again, Extreme, you broke up.
I said, yeah, the Centurion with a single new cannon on it's about 2.5 days to build. So, you know, by the end of the week or week and a half, you'll have a 5-ship fleet going, and you can sit there and refit it later.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what I've done. I've just started one Centurion with one of the new particle accelerator cannons on, so just slow building it, and as Toxic said, just wait till people post their builds and see how awesome it is. Like yourself.
True. Anybody got anything else they want to add to the show?
I just would like to see Kix put low to mid-level hull with like 250 siege or 250 deflection out there for people to get kind of easily, whether it's a researchable or a campaign. If you're going to do a campaign, don't make the campaign so damn hard that they have to have deflection to get the deflection hull. But, you know, if you're going to build the game around deflection from now on, as most people agree that you are, you need to make it available to everybody.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, well, if they don't have a deflection hull, like especially middle and low level players, make it researchable, or make the part that gives the hull deflection, you know, make a new part, a deflection part, or whatever you want to call it, that you then have to research or do something with, and you can then fit it to a ship that hasn't got deflection and then gives it deflection, if that makes sense.
A blueprint you're on about.
Yeah, like a blueprint, yeah. So that the low and mid-level players could then, you know, they don't need 600 deflection. They just need a little bit of deflection, you know.
That's a good idea.
If it's researchable, or if you can find it in the new drag bases, or in the new mines, or in the new cargoes or whatnot, and you know, help them out that way.
I can see one problem with that though.
People putting it on hulls that already have a lot of deflection.
Exactly. And then KIXEYE are going to have to make stuff harder again.
Well, I'm sure there's ways around that it can only be fitted to certain ships or something. Only to, you know, fitted to ships that doesn't have deflection
Make a
already. So
special
I don't know if that's
armor.
possible. Don't know.
Make a special armor slot.
And then that's changing all the fleets, so...
Maybe you just make a new hull.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, you know, that could do that. The researchable hull for low and mid-level stuff. It would be good.
True. Anybody else has got a last word?
Yeah, I have something. I would generally think that with the direction of the improvements of the game and stuff, the way it's going and things like that, that it's a good step. It's a good direction. But we also need to discuss the issue of refit times and repair times, because there's still, you know, with the reduced build times, that has been helping, but it still takes time to take a weapon or a component off, and we definitely need to think about those too.
Okay. Well, it's coming up to 12 o'clock. In fact, it has gone midnight now. So I think we'll wrap the show up. I'd like to thank Toxic, Extreme, Prices Are Wrong, Paul, Judge, Pax, Joel, Damnation, and Bite Me for coming out. I also like to thank the people that's been in chat. I don't know the links. I haven't got that page open, so I'll just mention that we're Cone supporters up here, over that way, for bp.balvortex.tv. I know Price has got a Twitch, so go support
Twitch.tv, Price_is_wrong.
I think, Joel, you Twitch as well, don't you?
I used to, but I just play Smite and I stream that.
I'm not going to forget it tonight. Extreme?
Yay!
Go on, say it. What's yours?
Twitch.tv/ExtremeXE29.
Okay.
And it's not dictionary
Twitter.
spell, there's no E at the beginning.
There's no what?
I said it's not spelled like it is in the dictionary. There's no E at the beginning.
Okay, thanks everybody. Goodbye everybody.
I'll take care.
Hey, don't forget.
Good.